What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video. We're back in Planet Coaster 2 with something that I just had to do, and that is recreate Time Traveler. I know we did it in Planet Coaster 1 with the other spinning coaster, but now that we have the extreme spinning coaster in the game, I couldn't resist of building this recreation. And for this episode, we don't get a whole lot of the track work done, but we actually focus quite a bit on the trains themselves, because I was really excited to try my hand at creating the time traveler trains. This is subject to change, by the way. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep everything that I did here. I tried to get the general colors first, and then we attach some scenery. It is a little bit of a different design on the front pieces. It's not a solid piece on time travelers, so I'm trying to do an illusion to where it's kind of transparent, but it's not gonna be perfect. But first, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep these gears here. I'm trying to put on the gears on the side. This might change. I might actually create my own in the end, but for right now, we're gonna use the in-game ones. But I might go in and create my own gear that looks a lot more accurate. It's just hard because they have to be a certain size. With the scaling tool, though, I should be able to do that, but I don't know. I would like to hear from you guys in the comment section that don't have the modding because if you don't have the mod, it's not going to work for you. So I want to make sure that it will work. I'd like to make sure that it would work for everybody, but if I need to use the mod, I need to use the mod. And I been trying to pay a little bit of attention of how big I've been making things. I'm not entirely sure of everything of where the limit is without the mod. So but I really just want to make this the best type of recreation that I can. And the first thing we're going to start off with is creating the Silver Dollar City logo on the front of the car, which was a little bit of a challenge, but I did figure something out a little bit with the being able to do the text without a background helps quite a bit. And then a combination of art shapes. I think I used the letter I for the log that is on there. And then I used another piece that used the axe pretty well. I was trying to find a good piece that could utilize as the axe, and I found this little small piece, and I was like, this will work pretty good, and I can just shape it up as the shape of an axe for the logo. So that kind of worked kind of well, and then I wanted to give it a little bit of a different colored outline as well. And it already looks pretty solid, and I wanted to try and get some of the design in. This isn't the final design, by the way. I'm going to be adding more onto it. This is just me trying to get the design of it started. I am going to do more. I was a little upset that we can't change the color of the lap bars, the metal part, because Time Travelers is a gold color, but I have to keep it as a silver color, which does kind of suck. It would be kind of cool, and this could be something maybe Frontier could look into, is actually being allowed to attach scenery pieces to the restraints, so we could customize the restraints and it will animate with the restraints. I think that would be kind of a cool addition as well. Just kind of like, we don't need it, but like I think it'd be kind of a cool idea. And then I decided to use these like from the aquatic pack, these little pipe or these pieces for the time dial. I think kind of turned out pretty cool. So we do have the time dial in front of the car. And then there is, again, kind of like this mesh that kind of acts as the front piece. So I decided to put some of this like fencing in on the front. And there is kind of like a design. I tried to do it here, but I decided to hold off on it until I figure it out more so later on, because this piece is kind of rotated. So I'm going to look into it probably a little bit later on, because again, it is not, you can't get it really completely perfect, but I think it already looks way better than what I did in Planet Coaster 1, of course. So with that being said, we're going to go into some track work, and we have the eddy current spin piece, which allows us to force apply a spin onto the cars, so we can actually include that little bit of spin as it comes out of the station. So if you've ever ridden Time Travel, you'll know that there's a little magnet that spins the cars as they go out. So we can actually create that effect as it goes down the drop, and we can really adjust how much force is applied. And I did spend quite a bit of time getting this correct. I wanted to make sure it looked right, and also make sure that the track doesn't make the train spin too much, because in Time Traveler they do have a magnet on the cars themselves, and in the game this coaster type actually allows you to control how fast the cars are spinning throughout the track, and you can change it from piece to piece. So there's actually a max spin rate piece or option that allows you to change the max spin rate. So you can crank that up and allow it to spin as much as you want, or you can lower it down and make the trains not spin as much, which we're going to do here for Time Traveler, because Time Traveler doesn't have an aggressive spin by any means. It's more like kind of a rotation, like it just kind of, goes around. It does spin. You'll get a full rotation once in a while, but it's nothing too crazy. So I wanted to make sure I got that right. And I wanted to make sure this recreation is really, really good. Now, we don't have billboards in the game, so I can't do like we used to do with like the Google Earth pictures, using them on billboards. I might consider that if that becomes a thing, maybe later on, but we'll see. I couldn't wait on this recreation, and I'm just going to spend my time trying to get the layout as accurate as possible. I don't think I'm going to be completely perfect, but I'm still kind of newer to the 4-meter method, so we are using the 4-meter method here. And you can see I did spend a lot of time on this dive loop. I still don't think I'm completely satisfied with how it turned out. We might change it a little bit as well. But I was just going off of a lot of reference photos, POVs, and stuff like that to try and get it correct. And of course, I know the ride pretty well. I don't think, and this is something I'll probably fix in the next episode, I think I should have rotated the dive loop a little bit more. I think because it does turn to the left immediately after, and I think I need to turn it a little bit more towards the station and the exit of the dive loop. I think that's something that we're gonna have to adjust. Going back into this footage and seeing it later on, I was like, I probably need to do that. And then I tried to do a little bit more shaping of the dive loop, and it was a lot of trial and error, but it did turn out decent. But again, we're probably going to change quite a bit of it again here in the next episode. The layout I'm taking my time on the layout and really trying to make sure it's where I want it to be. So just I took a lot of time trying to do this turn, this little S-bend that the ride has right after the dive loop, and then it goes into the first launch. And I want to make sure the speed is pretty accurate throughout the ride as well. So I want to make sure that when we hit that first launch, it's not going too fast, stuff like that. So I need to figure out exactly how high up I need to make this. And I also decided to put a little bit of a trim brake onto the drop to slow it down a little bit, just to control the speed so I can get the speed really accurate. I know a lot of you people don't like trim brakes, but there actually is a trim brake on that drop, just a small one in real life. So it kind of works in a way, but the reason why I'm doing that, again, I want it to be as realistic as possible, and I don't want it to go through elements too quickly, and I need that. I'm trying to control the speed to where the speed is correct. And so you can see here we will add a trim brake, which I actually use the magnetic brakes because the look of them look a little bit more accurate than the trims. They kind of have that magnetic brake. Looks a little bit more accurate than the other one, or than the actual trim. So I don't use the trim very often. I usually end up using the actual brake itself, or the magnetic brake sometimes. But anyways, yeah, just going back into here, it took me a while to get this kind of going. Anyways, but I also would love to hear if you guys have any suggestions on like the coaster trains and everything like that, on how to what pieces I could use for the trains to kind of make them look a little more accurate. I am all ears. So I just want to try and create the most accurate recreation I can, especially making the cars look exactly as close as possible as well. But yeah, for this episode, we tried to just get to about the first launch, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get the layout done. Hopefully we'll get it done within the next episode. That's going to be my goal, because There's not too much to this layout. The layout's not actually that big. So the first half with this first launch, you know, there's just a dive loop, an S-bend, and then you hit the first launch, and then for the second half of the ride, you got that overbank turn, vertical loop, the twist and turn kind of airtime hill, and then you go into the 0G roll, second launch, and then those last 2 turns, and that's it. That's basically the layout. So it's nothing too crazy huge, but that's about all we get done in this episode, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed and are excited for this series. So I hope you guys have a great day and even cooler tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel. Consider subscribing if you like this kind of content for Planet Coaster 2. And if you want to see my videos early, guys, be sure to hit that join button and support me further. You guys will get access to my videos early. So have a great day, guys, and even cooler tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.